Welcome in to the PHNX Suns post-game show, where the Phoenix Suns have fallen to the Los Angeles Lakers.
Man, fuck this music, Eric. Turn that shit off. Fuck those refs.
And they got bounced in the knockout round of the in-season tournament. Listen, I'm not going to pretend like the Suns didn't shoot themselves in the foot for a little bit in this game. But what the heck was the end of this game?
Okay, they shot themselves in the foot, but the refs finished them off.
They definitely did.
Well, the last 2 minutes of the game were some of the worst officiating I've ever seen in the NBA, and that is a high bar to cross, all right?
Look, it was tough, especially because it felt like for a lot of the night, the Lakers were playing really physical basketball. There was that one sequence where Nurk took an elbow to the face from LeBron and then got hacked on the other end on the arm and didn't get a call in either instance. So the kind of one-sided level of physicality that was being allowed was rough. But I will say the take foul situation, we got some clarity on this. The take foul does not apply in the last 2 minutes. So as much as we were all wondering why they didn't review for a take foul, that one's legit. The timeout one is crazy. It is crazy that happened. That should never happen. He didn't have the ball when they tried to call a timeout, and it's crazy that was granted.
That's the most egregious one. Is you played everything the correct way. Devin Booker was gonna foul, then he stopped himself and he didn't foul. Austin Reeves tried to draw the foul, and by doing so, lost the ball. And then the ball gets knocked to the left, and it's halfway into the key before the whistle blows, and they grant a timeout. That is just the most egregious fuck up ever. It's like the refs sat there and they were like, "Oh no! Wait, hold up. The Lakers are supposed to win this. Let's make sure that we blow this whistle and grant them the timeout." Listen, for everything. We have so many people that say the NBA is rigged, and I'm not one of those people that thinks that. But damn, when you watch this, you're like, well,
it might not be rigged, but they might not be like helping you either.
Yeah.
The thumb might be on the scale just as, you know those memes you see at the airport where people are weighing their luggage and their toe is just holding it up just a smidge?
Yeah.
It's like that. Just a smidge.
I mean, you can't tell me that they called fouls the same way on both sides tonight.
No.
I mean, the Lakers could punch the Suns basically, and the Suns couldn't breathe on a Lakers player. To me, that makes you question things a little bit. Plus, with the egregious timeout, at the end, the refs did a lot to help, but the Suns put themselves in a hole too here.
But before we talk about the Suns, let's keep talking about the refs, okay? Because we're not the only ones who feel this way. Other people on Twitter were saying the exact same thing when at the end of this game. Mikal Bridges tweeted out, "Wow, LOL." Tyrese Halliburton did the questioning emoji. Like, I'm sorry, what? Kevin O'Connor, "The ball was definitely loose," all caps. "I don't see how the referees grant a timeout here." Even Skip Bayless got in on the action. Suns just got screwed.
I'm not sure how I feel about that one. The others, I totally agree. When
again,
Skip's in,
the meme when the worst person makes a good argument and it makes you agree with them. Yeah. That's what these refs did to us tonight.
What bothers me is I feel like in the final 2 minutes of game, if you have a challenge, everything should be reviewable, because that was one of the worst calls I've ever seen, and you can't review it. There's no recourse for that. We all saw the replay. It was pretty damn obvious when you watched it, and there's nothing you can do. What good is having this ability to challenge if you can't challenge the plays that actually impact the game and change it?
Well, there's other egregious things, like, for instance, Cam Reddish goes up for a layup. KD barely touches his fucking elastic on his shorts. They call a foul because he misses the layup. Then you go on the other end, and Nurk is going into the lane, and he gets hacked on both of his arms by two different players, and the ref is literally standing right there looking at everything and just is like, meh. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Like, I can't explain how awful this is on so many different levels. It's just so egregious. Now, obviously, that's not the sole reason why the Suns lost. The Suns shouldn't have ever been in that position in the first place if they would have handled their shit. But to get into the last 2 minutes of the game, when it's a tough physical battle on one side, and you get an opportunity to get back into this game or at least tie it up, and the refs just literally take it right out of your hands. It's just unfortunate, really unfortunate.
So I know that I am not in LA to report on this game, but I do have a report on Devin Booker's thoughts on the very end of the game. And I love that I get these notifications now, but via Devin Booker's Instagram story right now, he just posted a screenshot from the game and a little thinking face emoji of Austin Reeves not having the basketball.
He's been in the locker room 15 minutes and he found that
the
screenshot.
timeout.
Shit, has it even been 15 minutes?
Yeah. So Book feeling some type of way about the way that timeout went down, like the rest of us.
As he should. It was outrageous. That was a terrible call. And like, honestly, I know that we're going to talk about the other factors in this game that were self-inflicted by the Suns. But at the end of the day, you're a one-bucket game and you make a call like that in the inaugural in-season tournament in the knockout round. Like, you can't have mistakes that bad.
Well, they have them in the playoffs. Why can't they have them in the in-season tournament?
You can't do that.
No, look, I don't usually use this language, but fuck the NBA if they put out the last 2 minute report tomorrow. I don't want to see your mea culpa bullshit when it actually can't change anything.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be a bunch of red lines through some shitty calls in that final 2 minutes. And it does no good after the fact to say, oh yeah, we screwed that up. I don't care at that point.
I want the validation. I would rather them come out and say, yeah, we got it wrong, than they come out and defend a terrible call. Because then I've never been the type of person that's like, oh, the NBA's rigged.
No, come on.
But if they defend that, then something fishy is up, because you cannot defend your officials when they get something so blatantly wrong.
That's like your ex-girlfriend 2 years after you break up, coming up to you and going,
I should have
you
stayed
were
with
right.
you.
You were right.
Say the same shit. Oh my God.
No, that makes me feel better.
No,
Why are you two dwelling on the past? I've bettered myself.
Screw your validation.
We lost. We could have been together. But you had to fuck it all up.
No, see,
I had hotel room.
That's backwards looking.
I was ready to go.
That's backwards
you screwed
looking.
me, all right?
We're better. We've bettered ourselves. We've moved past it.
All I know, and I've been saying this the whole time, the in-season tournament is absolute garbage.
No.
The NBA
I'm not standing for that either.
No.
We
I'm
will
Never
take it.
again.
No.
I'm kidding.
I'm out.
I'm kidding.
Never again do I want to see this in-season tournament.
Listen, I'll be honest though. They really did do a number on us, because I haven't been, listen, I got upset about the Spurs game a little bit ago. I'm not gonna lie. But this game had me hot. This felt a little bit more like a playoff game. Like, I was pissed. I was yelling at Book. I was yelling at everybody. Like, they did a good job.
The other
They
thing
got us worked up on a Tuesday night in December.
The other thing I will say as well,
kudos.
and people are pointing this out in the chat, Cam Reddish got away with so much out there. So much grabbing, so much physical contact. He even grabbed Booker around the fucking neck and head to drag him out of bounds
Knocked
on a
his
foul.
headband off.
And they didn't even look at it. They didn't even review any of that stuff. I'm like, that's not within the spirit of the game. Like, get the hell out of here. The inconsistency with these refs sometimes, when Kevin Durant and Devin Booker each have like 5 fouls and are about to foul out, and meanwhile, there's not a Laker over 3 fouls in the entire game. Like, get the hell out of here.
Didn't they only have 1 foul in that final quarter?
And it didn't come until like the
until
it
that
was it was the take foul.
No, it was that Booker shot, but yeah, the take foul was after that.
Okay, so 2.
But yeah, it's one of those things where the Lakers established their physicality early. They got a lot of points in the paint. They got a lot of away with a lot of things, like Devin Booker got grabbed by the ankle by, I think it was Jackson Hayes early in the game, kind of sat on it, and then Cam Reddish kind of like dove into KD's ankle at one point. KD turned his ankle at one point. Like, it was just, I hope that we got out of this game healthy, honestly, because of some of the shots that they took, because of just how beat up they were consistently. Nurk getting slapped, Booker getting headlocked. Like, it was a really physical game. It was high intensity game. And it just kind of sucks that they came up short because of a lot of the self-inflicted wounds they had.
I can all but guarantee Kevin Durant's probably not going to play in the next game.
Yeah.
He was limping pretty bad at the end of that game. He was toughing it out after he kind of had that slight little ankle sprain. I don't know if it was a high ankle sprain or not. He still hit 2 threes right after that, so good on him. But you could see when the game was over, he was limping going back to the locker room. So I don't know if he's going to miss any games, but it didn't look great when he was walking out. So I wouldn't be shocked if he missed a couple games.
You know, we're complaining about the refs, but this feels like the kind of game, even if you had won, if you'd pulled it off in the end, you're still complaining about how bad the refs were. This isn't they took the game away because they called a couple. No, this was egregiously poor calls. This was just bad. They were bad at their job tonight.
The amount of tweets on my timeline, like, listen, I know every fan base is going to complain about the officiating at times throughout the season. I'm not pretending like we don't do that. But the amount of tweets on my timeline tonight talking about playing football is, I feel like, fair enough that everyone was seeing what we were seeing, because a lot of them weren't even coming from Suns fans necessarily either. So it's like when you allow one team to be so physical that people are comparing it to a football game, which I know they're being a little bit extra with that. Don't get me wrong.
I don't know. At a few times it was.
but you don't allow both teams to play that same level of physicality. That's where the issue lies. Like, if you let it be a physical game, that's okay. But when one team is allowed to be physical times 10 and the other one is going to get a foul for blowing in someone's ear, then we got issues.
I mean, hell, LeBron hit Yusuf right in the nerk and nobody said anything.
He smacked him.
I mean,
it was like an open hand smack to the Bosnian beast. Like, that was messed up, man.
All right. Last opportunity to say any final thoughts about the officiating, then we're going to move on. We're going to look at some numbers.
We're going to get into it. That missed timeout was egregious because you had a turnover that was going to be a layup or at worst an 8-second violation and you get the ball back. But at the end of the day, you cannot commit as many turnovers as the Suns committed, and you cannot give up as many offensive rebounds as the Suns committed and expect to win. So as much as we were glad that they were still in that game and wanted to see them get a fair chance down the stretch, they put themselves in that position, unfortunately.